Hello everyone, and welcome back to DMG. Recently, we've looked at a $10 Radeon, a $20 GeForce, but what if we step it up another $10? What can we get? Well, it's a card that I've looked at before on this channel, the Quadro k620. I initially tested this card in, I think it was early 2022, with a quad-core i5 from the 4th gen. I'm going to be retesting it on an 8-core, 16-thread CPU to hopefully get all of the possible performance out of this little card. Now, it was released only a month or so after the GT730, which we looked at in last video. Its specs are extremely similar. It only has 8 texture mapping units, but it has 16 ROPs, which is more than the GT730. It also has the same 384 cores as the GT730 does. Now, the thing that might really slow it down is it has 2 GB of VRAM, just like the 730. However, it's DDR3, not the faster GDDR5 like our 730 does. So we have basically 2 identical GPUs, but one with faster video memory and drivers optimized for gaming instead of CAD like this card. So let's see if I can still recommend this, or I would actually recommend the GT730 or even the 750 over it. Here we are with our Quadro k620 card. I'm gonna try and bump these up by 50 megahertz on core and memory. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, so a lot of Quadros actually don't let you overclock. It looks like this one won't either. Bet I can't adjust the power limit either. Oh, I actually can. Okay. But as is kind of typical for Quadros, they don't let you overclock. It's a bit disappointing though. So here we go. We've got Micron DDR3, 2 gigs of it. Then here is our clocks and stuff. It has a lot of sensors. More than we usually see on like a low-end card. So I'll just drag it down here so you can keep an eye on power consumption, all of that. Again, sorry, another video just filming off the monitor. But this is the last like GPU test video for now. We'll just run a quick firmware test, and it's actually doing better than the GT730 already, because the die used in this card is basically an underclocked GTX 750. I'll pull up our little frame rate counter here. Okay, 200. So we were getting 300 with the GeForce card when we looked straight at the floor in the room that I'm going to go to next. So I want to see, we're getting like over 300. That's very close. So yeah, it actually seems to be performing a tiny bit worse, as in like, you know, 10 to 20 FPS, but still it's pumping out 300 frames per second. I mean, this is a game that runs on pretty much anything. However, it did have some trouble on some of those super awful GPUs that we did take a look at. So, you know, I'll still test it. Apparently we're getting 1 FPS according to our monitor. That is not correct. Wow, our GPU usage is very low, in the 20s. And our CPU usage is also pretty low. So yeah, this runs fine on this card. I'll turn the graphics all the way up. And the GPU usage actually went up to 60%. So apparently that does something even though the game still looks the same. Why is Xbox Game Bar so bad? Like, why is this FPS monitor never accurate? Like, Microsoft is a multi-billion-dollar company. You could think they would, you know... Ah, there we go! I was about to say, you would think they could make an app that would work, but I guess... Oh, whoops. I complimented it, then it stopped working. Anyway, it runs fine, can't complain there. Alright, we're getting a solid 60. I think we're on like 24 chunk. I'm going to try and turn it up a little bit. Our GPU usage was around 90% there. What if I stick it up at like, I don't know, 36? Wow. We got a little bit more input lag when we turn it up, but, I mean, it's still very playable, and you can still commit war crimes as much as you want. We are starting to get some input lag, just when it comes to, like, digging and, like, breaking stuff. So, like, if you were fighting a boss or something, you probably would want to turn down the render distance a little. But, I mean, it runs quite well. I honestly can't complain. Although I do quite like the landscape here. Wow, that is a deep hole. This is where I'm going to put all of the first GPUs that I reviewed. The 9300 GE, it goes down here. I am burying it at the bottom of this hole. Alright, BeamNG.drive, I am starting on the lowest preset, and we're going to see just how this goes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but even though the GT 730 from last video uses GDDR5, it's clocked at a pretty similar speed to the DDR3 on this card. So, I don't think memory technology matters if they're clocked around the same speed, right? They should be around the same speed, regardless of if they're DDR or GDDR. Now we hear the fan on the card ramping up a little. We're getting almost 60 FPS though, which is incredible. So this card is already better than the 730. We were getting maybe like, I think it was, 40 to 50 FPS on the lowest preset. And I'm gonna set it to the low preset in a second. Yeah, this card is a little louder in terms of fan, but it's not a small whiny fan. It's just kind of a whoosh sound. So it's not like the $10 Radeon card. I guess when you're paying $20 more for your GPU, you really do get an upgraded fan. Okay, there goes our VRAM starting to fill up. We're now 85-ish% full. Okay, that was a rather significant FPS drop. About 15 FPS. As in, like, it changed by 15 FPS. We are now at 40, mid-40s range. I bet you could even turn it to the next preset and still have a playable experience. Although I will say our input lag is increasing. So things like shadows you might want to turn down, but we've still got some free VRAM, so you could turn textures up. You could make the trees look slightly less like cotton candy. And, it's definitely very playable on this card. I recommend this card over the 730 already. Now, I do recommend a GTX 750 over this Quadro card. However, the Quadro card can be found for about $30, and 750s are closer to the, $40, $50 range. And they perform within 5 FPS of each other, probably, because of the card being literally the same, just slightly different clock speeds. So I definitely recommend, it may not be worth picking up a 750 for $10 more than this card, unless you really care about those 5 FPS and want a Kepler, I think, series card. At that point, you might as well just get like a, I don't know, like a 900 series, like a 950. I was thinking like, wait, there was no GeForce 800 series, so I can't recommend one. They were all MXM cards that were like a refresh of the 700. Anyway, NVIDIA rant aside, ooh, we got some water, and we saw no FPS drop with the water. Sorry, I'm having too much fun. I'm getting carried away. Usually I'm like excited to stop playing a game on one of these cards because it's not enjoyable. But this one, it's actually kind of nice. Ooh, big FPS drop. Our VRAM is now all the way full on normal. So I assume... Also, I don't know anyone who just uses the presets. Like, please play around with the graphics settings a little. Don't just click the presets. Because, you know, just tuning some things would work better for this card. But, with the presets, you always know what is going to be what. So, like, it's a good benchmark, if that makes sense. Now, the game does look a little better, but we're getting about half the FPS we were on the lowest preset. So, I mean, you could still turn things up a bit, because BeamNG is still decently playable at 30. That's around what I played on my laptop. Which I will do a video about soon. I just realized I haven't released that video. Whoops. But, I mean, we've done a full lap, and, yeah, it's quite a good card if you just want to do a little gaming. But, again, want, like, a super low power SFF single slot, very cheap card. Let's get on to something else before I get too carried away again. Let's try some Crossout. We're already at 60 FPS. I don't know what settings we're on, but I'll try the fair preset. Oh, now that's more FPS. How about we set it to the high preset? There we go. Now we're in the 40s. Wow. 23 millisecond render latency. Mid 40s. So this is perfectly playable. Now I'm going to try and use a little bit of FSR. With TAA anti-aliasing in this game, I'm going to set it to ultra quality, which will probably give me like 5-ish more FPS. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's go harass people. What is this guy doing? I don't know, but... Oh, okay, hello. Man's flown away. Okay, so, this is a great GPU for harassing people. Also, like that's a really cool rocket. I actually kind of don't want to blow that up. Just kidding, I do. Oh, hello. Almost fell in that hole. Stole my kill there. But, I mean, we're getting high 50s. Or mid-50s, I suppose. So yeah, for doing a little driving around, I'm gonna drive into this hole now. Yeah, perfectly playable. Alright, CSGO. We are on the settings, something, I don't know. Yeah, low settings. Things are turned down pretty low because I'm not too confident in this card out of the gate. Because of course in FPS games you want pretty high frame rates. So usually playing on lower settings is better. Crap. It's not telling us FPS, but they look very good. Our GPU is maxed out, so that means that we don't have a bottleneck. And our FPS is definitely good enough. So you might even want to turn it up a little bit, I don't know. You definitely can turn it up a little, but I mean it looks fine on these settings to me. Granted, I'm by no means a competitive CSGO player, so I don't know what a competitive player is looking for. Give. I'm too good. I'm just too good. Why am I so good at this game? And the graphics card is also quite good at this game. Okay, Witcher 3, everything on the lowest. So if you wanna, I think that's like even lower than the low preset. But I mean, we'll see how this goes. Oh wow, this is running much better than the 730. We're getting 20s instead of like 10s. There we go. Ooh. It doesn't feel great to play, honestly. There's not much fun to be had here. It's quite laggy. It's extremely slow, actually. It's not unplayable, it's just not very pleasant to do so, honestly. Although, again, if you want to pay more for a game than your GPU, actually no, I think The Witcher 3 is like around the price of this card. But if you want to pay as much for a game as your GPU, I suppose, you can definitely do that. I suppose we'd be in the like higher 20s if there wasn't rain, because that usually does throw off some smaller GPUs. Wow, we're getting 60. A solid 60. Sorry, let me try and get rid of those lines on the monitor. Okay, mid-40s, but this is quite playable. I can barely see what is going on. POV, they released Morbius 2 and people are going to get tickets because Morbius was such a good movie. That joke died like 2 years ago. Okay, I don't care. I'm so 2022. There we go. Yeah, wow. I wasn't quite watching a frame rate because there was so much chaos going on, but that was a good benchmark, and, you know, we did decently well as well. I think Tomb Raider is a given. It's going to perform pretty much exactly like the 730, because honestly, once you have a card powerful enough, you can turn it up to the medium settings, like the normal preset. From like mix of low to normal preset would probably be great on this card. So I'm not even going to test that because I know it'll run so well. I'll try Fortnite next because I guess people still play that game, and often it actually struggles with low-end GPUs despite it looking like Roblox. Alright, we're doing Fortnite with DX11 low preset, but 100% 3D resolution. So we'll see how this performs. I recall getting like 30 to 40 FPS on the GT 730. Game bar isn't showing us FPS because Microsoft doesn't know how to make an app that works. However, we can see top right corner. Actually, you probably can't see. It says we're getting 60 FPS. That looked like a pretty big drop there, though. Our GPU is at almost full load. Our VRAM is at half. So you could probably afford to turn textures to the higher resolution if you really wanted to, because you might also want to turn anti-aliasing up a little bit at least, because we're seeing some jaggies on the edges of buildings, that kind of thing. Again, sorry that I can't screen record, but, you know, it really slows down these older graphics cards, these older lower-end cards. And of course, you wouldn't typically be screen recording while playing. If you wanted to do streaming or something, you'd want a much better card than this to handle the video encoding and game at the same time. I'm so good at this game. I'm so good. Where did he go? And why is my mouse not working? Finally. Wow. 2 eliminations. That's, this graphics card must be really good because I am less bad at the game than usual. Why am I so bad? You would think after, like, 5 consecutive videos of playing this game, to benchmark graphics cards, I would at least know how to pick up an item. But I guess I don't. I could make excuses, or I could just be like, yeah, I'm awful. Oh, that looks like something I should probably blow up. Ah, sweet. Ah. Nice reload. Wow, 3! This is... I'm more amazed by my own performance than this graphics card. But on that topic, the graphics card is doing fantastically. This is definitely better than the 730, I can go ahead and tell you that. So I would definitely recommend the Quadro k620 over the GT 730. And I can say it's definitely held up in the years since I've tested it. It's still quite a capable little card. But again, it might be worth, if you're buying like a main GPU for like your one PC, the prices of like GTX 950s and 1050s are getting decently low. So you might actually want to look into one of those instead. Wow. Missed every shot there. But, here we go. You must be really bad at the game if you die to me. Like, that is an incredible insult. If you actually somehow manage to die to me. 4 kills on a low-end graphics card in any game. Wow. So yeah, you can definitely play Fortnite on this. I think Fortnite is Unreal Engine based, and there are a lot of games that look a lot like Fortnite because they are also Unreal Engine based. You know, made in the same style. And because, you know, games based on the same engine tend to perform similarly, we can go ahead and assume that games, you know, that look like this from Unreal Engine will run decently well. Whoops. Oh, crap. Who was shooting at this guy? Where did they go? Are you over here? Nope. Ah! They are over here. Yes. Any pro esports teams watching, hire me. Email in the about section. Shoot me an email. Because I know you want someone this good on your esports team. Wow, there are 25 players left and I am one of them. I don't think this card has XP drivers. The GT 730 has XP drivers, but I don't think this one does. I think the farthest it goes back is Vista, or maybe even 7. So if you want an XP card, the GT 730 is a better choice because it'll actually work. Let me kill this guy and then I'll say some more about... Oh crap, where? How did I swap my gun out for shield potion? There we go. Anyway, the GT 730 is good for XP gaming. However, you might get a PCIe bottleneck. because reminder that it's a by 8 card. It's a 2.0 x8 slot. So if you run that in a PCIe like 1.0 slot, which a lot of XP compatible boards are. It's like if you've got a Pentium 4 board like mine, you're going to be running your 2.0 card at 1.0. So that's like half the bandwidth it's supposed to be running at. So make sure you've got a PCIe 2.0 board if you buy a by 8 version of the GT730, else you're going to get a huge PCIe bottleneck. That actually happened to me. I bought the GT730 that I have to use in my XP system, and it ended up performing worse than my 9400 GT in some games because of the aforementioned PCIe bottleneck, so do be careful of that. Sorry for the rant about one thing. I have 6 kills though, I'm just so good. Let's see. Hello. Wow. Skill issue. Ah, come on. Okay, I was doing well there though. That was like actually not half bad. Anyway, yeah, this game runs on this card if you really want to. And our GPU load wasn't even all the way up. So you could definitely turn the settings up even higher. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. I definitely think this card has held up. It's still a great card. But yeah, this is it for GPU benchmark videos for now because I'm out of GPUs to benchmark. But I'm going to have some laptop videos coming up and a very strange motherboard video coming up if everything goes to plan. But that is it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you next time.